We live in politically charged times, but I think the one thing that most of us Americans can agree on is that we don't want to throw away our boxes that our tech comes in. And I am absolutely guilty of that. So these are my boxes that my Apple Watch came in. And this is the first watch that I had, which was my first watch ever, which is also an Ultra, for a smartwatch, I should say. But it doesn't end there, not by a long shot. So I recently bought a new computer because it was time, right? So planned obsolescence. So yeah, I've got this, and it's my MacBook Pro box that I keep just because I don't know why I keep it. Maybe someone can explain to me why I keep it. But I definitely can't let it go, and all this paperwork that I never ever look at. But I keep that, and I guess my children or my grandchildren at some point, maybe my great-grandchildren, will discover this treasure trove. And when I bought this machine, I also bought some extra cords, because I don't know, I just felt like I should have extra charging cords, so I keep the boxes for those. And then of course I have the boxes for the power packs as well. So this is very important to have these adapter boxes. Have those as well. And then I also have the actual box that it was all shipped in, just in case that ever becomes necessary to have. All that. I also have a much earlier MacBook Pro box. This is the 13-inch, and gosh, this is just a swell box, isn't it, with a handle and everything. And again, I do still have the machine, haven't used it in years. But again, all this great packing and literature. And here's an iPad box, and inside of this, which, you know, you just don't know. Here's a little SIM card remover. For if your phone ever comes with a SIM card again, you could use that to remove it. And then I have my current box here. This is I'm not a fancy phone person, so this is the SE, and this is the red. And then again, I've got my literature in here, and it's a beautiful box. These boxes are kind of like works of art. I don't know. Can you see the shine on that? Like, they thought about this. I'm going to put this back properly, just in case. All right. So there's that, and then I have an earlier one. This is a different iPhone. This is an iPhone. It just says iPhone on it, but this is a 6, and I know that because I looked and I saw 64 gigabytes, not too shabby for its day. And then just in case, I also my iPhone 5 box. I was disturbed that I couldn't find my iPhone 4 box, which was the first iPhone that I ever owned. That was a breakthrough. Yeah, they're a little dusty because I don't get a lot of use. And then of course I have my universal dock box as well. I don't know where the dock went. But I'm sure this is important. And then I also have some other boxes that I unearthed, like my Apple Airport Extreme box. I haven't seen the actual airport in years, don't know where it went. Then I've got my iPod USB power adapter, which is, again, a little dusty, but I think it's still worth probably a small fortune. And then also in that same pile, I have my Apple mouse box. Again, there's no mouse in here. Just the box, the Mighty Mouse box. It's, yes, very dusty as well. And then yet another power adapter box. This adapter I still have somewhere that goes with that 13-inch 60-watt high class. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about were these. So these are my shuffles. I haven't listened to these in years. I'm sure they work fine. Here's one, and with charging cord. And here's one in the original box. Look at that. Worth a king's ransom, no doubt. And then, let's get serious. So this is my first pair of Powerbeats Pro. I lent these to a family member. They still use them, but I hold on to the box for safekeeping. That I wouldn't let out of my sight. And this is where the advice for biking comes in. So I really like these. So I mentioned these earlier. This is just the box. But the Powerbeats Pro 2, I highly recommend. So I've had these for several months now, and they're great for working out. And they're also good if I'm riding my bike and it's not my full face helmet. So they have like a transparency mode. Usually I just use one of them because I'm paranoid that way. I want to hear it, but I still also want to listen. I mostly listen to audiobooks. So I'm listening to music occasionally, but it's more often a podcast or an audiobook. So these are great connectivity. And they also, if I'm just talking to somebody on them, they sound great. If I'm in my full face, I'll be using these guys. These are the Powerbeats Fit Pro. And these are just a lot smaller. They're smaller profile. And again, I just use one. These are not the original silicone earbuds. They kind of fell off, and I found that these are just a little more comfortable. So here's the deal with these. These are great, but these wings are delicate. So if you get these, you have to be really careful. I've replaced 2 of them so far. So the sound quality is great. And if I can get one of them comfortably on underneath a full face helmet. So this is what I use when I'm on like single track and I have a full face. But like I said, those little wings are delicate. So here's the original box, and inside the original box is one of the dead ones. So this is OEM, and you can see the little wing is just literally off. That's the dead wing. Yes, you can see there's some residue on there. That's because I tried and failed to glue it. So you probably will have about the same luck as I did if you want to try to glue it. Your best bet is to just be really careful when you remove them out of the box. So here's how to do it. You just kind of pinch here and then gently. I think my mistake was I started grabbing them by this, and that put extra pressure on it. So don't grab them by the wing. They still work great. I really like them. But these guys just hang on really well. So I use these for working out too, and just like daily. So you now have the grand tour of the boxes and the earbuds. So I hope this helps.